Give me 1 second. It is Felix, 34. She said 34. I thought she said Igor.
Okay. Nice one. Yeah, and they will chip that one. Okay, we have been joined by Tennessee, and Coach will ask you to take an opening statement, and then we'll take questions for anybody up here on the dais. So, Coach?
Okay, just again, the utmost respect for the University of Kentucky and Mark Pope. I mean, just great respect all around for that university and him as a person, the program that he's putting together this year. But extremely proud of our guys. They beat us twice and scored, I think they hit 12 threes in both games. And obviously tonight, our number one objective, even though to be quite honest with you, was the last two games too, but they beat us. And we guarded the three-point line and just blessed having these guys every day, how hard they work. And I'm just thank God the fact that I get to spend another day with them.
Okay, please raise your hand, name your affiliation, and please direct your question right here in the front.
CJ Moore, The Athletic, for both Zakai and Rick. They seem to operate the first two games with probably more ease offensively than most of your opponents are used to operating. Did you guys want to come out tonight and maybe set a tone kind of physically that the games are going to be played on different terms?
Zakai, we'll start with you.
Well, I feel like the first two times we played them, we didn't play Tennessee basketball. So I feel like coming out this game, we really wanted to set the tone and show them who we were. Because the first two times we played them at their place and our place, we weren't ourselves. So just coming out, we knew regardless of what happened, we was just going to go out there and play Tennessee basketball on the offensive end and the defensive end. And I feel like we did a great job at that tonight.
Coach Barnes?
Again, I don't ever want to take anything away. I mean, they beat us, okay, because whether we did or didn't do our job, the fact is they beat us. But we knew we had to defend the three-point line better. I mean, the thing about it, they made three tonight. They got 13 off, and Lamont Butler was terrific. He made 4 of them, and that was our number one goal. And they run such good offense, and we just wanted to take away the easy back cuts and the three-point line, and we did a better job today, obviously, than we did in the other two games.
Right here, please.
Hi, Liv Clements with Indiana University. Zakai, the last two times you say wasn't Tennessee basketball. You made that clear. Tonight, 18 points, 10 assists. What do you say about anyone that doubted Tennessee basketball tonight?
Zakai?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people doubted us. But, like the first time, they got a lot of threes off. They got what they wanted to get off. The second time, they got anything they really wanted on us. And, going into this, we just had to really emphasize all the little things that we usually do, like whether that's beating in our gaps, running guys off, not getting back cut. So it really came down to little things like that. And, everybody just staying laser focused and playing Tennessee basketball for 20 minutes in the first half and 20 minutes in the second half. So us putting two halves together really was really important to us. And, we did an amazing job of that tonight.
Right here.
Rob Lewis with VolksWest.com. Felix, for you, that one sequence in the second half, you get the dunk, still in the backcourt, Zakai hits the three. But that felt like a one shining moment. I mean, what was your emotions right there when that happened?
Felix?
Man, it felt great, It just felt like, we were playing, like you said, Tennessee basketball. We were playing aggressive, also playing smart. We trust this guy, making that shot. For me, it was just, playing my heart out, playing aggressive, and trying to, play defense the right way.
Questions, please. Raise your hand. Questions, please. Right over here.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Zakai, Chaz had his moments tonight, but there have been some moments where he's just kind of really gone off. And for y'all to kind of control that game as much as you did without Chaz kind of going off, what's that say about maybe the rest of y'all?
Zakai?
Well, I really feel like we're a great all-around team. Chaz is an amazing shooter, amazing basketball player, and, he's one of the most unselfish guys. So whether he's scoring or not, he's happy for everybody. And, you know, he's going to make his same cuts and he's going to do what he has to do. And, you know, whether he makes a shot or gets the ball or do whatever, you know, he might make a cut to get somebody else open. And he understands that. So, you know, the way he plays, you know, it might not look like he's doing much, but he's doing all the little things to get somebody else open. So, you know, I feel like everybody down the line on our team, we're amazing basketball players and we're a great all-around team.
Right here.
Rob Lewis with VolQuest.com. Jordan, for you, as a competitor, as hard as you guys work, how rewarding is it to maybe, I don't know if it was your best game of the season, but it was maybe close on this stage against that opponent? Just how rewarding is that?
Jordan.
It's very rewarding. You know, we lost both games earlier this year, and we came into this one knowing what was on the stakes. You know, we had a chip on our shoulder ever since we stepped foot in the film room. And we went out there and proved it. We played good team basketball and really just had fun out there.
Right here in the back.
Right here in the back, guys. Trey Wallace with Outkick. Zakai, this is for you. It seems like, I don't know if I handed the keys over to you is the right way to put it, but Rick Barnes has entrusted you with this offense. And from the start of the game to the end of the game, you were dictating how Kentucky was trying to guard you guys. What does it mean for Coach to kind of give you the reins and let you run what you think should be run, even though you're looking at him, but again, at the same time, that trust?
Sakai.
It's amazing. You know, have a coach like this, a Hall of Fame coach, give me the keys pretty much and have that much trust into me, it means the world to me. You know, I bring it back to when, you know, I was being recruited by him. You know, him just telling me he's going to give me a fair shot of being on the court. And, you know, ever since that conversation, you know, Coach Barnes has never lied to me about anything. And, you know, all the way up until this point coming in, I was really never a point guard. And for me to be one of the top point guards in the country now and, you know, him pretty much to breed me into that, it's amazing, you know. And for him to have that much trust in me, it's amazing. You know, my mom calls me about it all the time and says she's so thankful about it. And, you know, I can't even put out words how thankful I am for Coach to, you know, have that much trust in me and believe in me that much.
Right here.
Ryan Costello, Indy University. Zakai, your bench had 23 points tonight to Kentucky's 6. How important is it for them to make that impact in each game?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you know, we got a great all-around team. You know, whether it's the starting five or the guys coming off the bench, you know, we can, you know, in practice we go at it every single day. So, you know, I don't really feel like, you know, guys start during the game, but it's really next man up. You know, no matter who's out there, we feel comfortable with everybody who's out there. You know, everybody that, whether you're starting, whether you play 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 30 minutes, no matter what, everybody's out there and they know what they're doing and, you know, we feel comfortable with it. So, you know, everybody that came off the bench, they did an amazing job and it was a great all-around effort.
Right here.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Question for Felix and for Zakai. This might be difficult with Jordan sitting in between the two of you, but at what point are people outside the state of Tennessee and the Southeastern Conference going to have to mention Jordan Gainey?
Felix.
Man, you know, I would say, you know, JG's really good. You know, I feel like he's a real good basketball player, and I feel like he gets slept on a lot. You know, he put in the work, and you can see it's paying off. You know, for him, you know, coming off the bench, it's a really important for us, you know, coming off the bench because he can bring that fire, you know, when we need it. And also, you know, I think, you know, with him on the team, it makes our team a little more versatile. You know, with Chaz, you know, if teams are trying to take out Chaz, you know, we got JG online, you know, trying to make plays.
Zakai.
Yeah, well, I call it like this. JG's the best sixth man in the country. You know, he's a sixth starter. And, you know, I know every time he step on that court, you know, he's like a microwave. He's hot already. So, you know, every time he step out there, I'm always looking for him. You know, me and him, we go at it in practice. Throughout the summer, we didn't talk so much trash to each other. We go at it all the time, whether it's playing one-on-one, 5-on-5. And, you know, I see the work that he puts in. You know, I be beating him in a lot of shooting contests. So, you know, but I know how great of a shooter he is. You know, I'm just really happy to be on the team with Jordan Gainey sometime.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
We got about another 4 minutes with the coach and the student athletes right here.
Molly Joseph, Indiana University. For Felix, you had 17 of your team's 14 offensive rebounds tonight. How do you think those boards contributed to you guys' success tonight?
Felix.
Man, it was key. You know, I think for me going into the game, you know, the coaches told me, you know, I gotta be a dog on the glass. For me, I just took that personal. You know, I feel like, you know, the first two games I didn't give up my full effort, and going in I just put my mind just getting rebounds and just forget everything else. You know, I think I did a pretty good job at that.
Right back here.
Alec Millender, IU Indianapolis. Jordan, being the sixth man and playing those important minutes, those intense minutes, how has that? How have you embraced that role, and how has your teammates helped you embrace that role?
Jordan.
You know, my teammates help me every single day in practice. You know, they're always pouring confidence into me and just making sure I'm going out there and doing what I'm supposed to do. And then when it comes game time, you know, there's nothing new out there. Everything seems natural, and when we're all playing team basketball, I'm just going out there and doing whatever it takes for us to win the game. So,
right up here in front.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports, for Jordan and for Zakai. I guess now that y'all don't have to play Kentucky anymore, you could maybe talk about what the plan was going in against those guys. Was it different defensively, the plan, or did y'all just execute what you wanted to do better from the first couple games?
Jordan.
The game plan was the same. You know, we executed very well today, and we played team basketball, connected on the defensive end, dominated the glass. From Felix to Igor, you know, everyone played their part today, and we all just had fun going out there and doing it.
Zakai?
Yeah, well, the game plan was really the same, and you know, the first two times we didn't execute what we had to do. You know, Kentucky, they're a great basketball team, a really well coached team, a great shooting team, and you know, I just felt like tonight we was more than locked in and to the game plan, and we just stuck to our scouting report and knew what we was going to do, and said we was going to do it, and we went out there and did it.
Got time for a couple more. Right here, Candace.
Rick, Candace Buckner from the Washington Post. You're not old, you're still a young man, but a lot of your peers have given up this profession because of the changing landscape. So when you get to a moment like this and you have stuck through it, just what goes through your mind?
Coach Barnes?
If you want me to be totally transparent, I've just been sitting here praying and thanking God for the opportunity to be here. And because I think all things come from Him, and it's a blessing. We talk about being here at this time, and our number one objective is to bring glory to Him. And that's what I was sitting here thinking about, how blessed I am to just have the opportunity to still be able to stay in this business. And hopefully by what we do, we bring glory to Him.
Time for one more. Anyone? Right up here in front.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. For Rick, sort of the same question that I asked a couple of the guys earlier. I know y'all as a program aren't the biggest on like getting accolades and individual attention, but do you think enough people talk about Jordan Gainey and what he's been doing?
Rick?
No, I don't. I think one of the compliments that Jordan should get, I don't know if people notice it because certainly when we're on the road or someplace like this and they introduce the players, we never come out because we don't consider that we've got just 5 starters. We consider him a starter. And that's a tradition we've had for a long year. Our motto has always been, it's not about me. And so when, again, if you notice, we don't go out when the name's called out. We stay together. They work together. They live together. They've sweated together. But Jordan, I mean, again, he's a starter. He's as much a starter as anybody. And we've had teams that could go deeper in that. But I'm glad he's with us. I really appreciate a number of years ago when Lamonte Turner and Jordan Bowden said if he ever decides to transfer, he's one of us. And what he's been able to do in 2 years is a really compliment to who he is. I mean, you know, obviously his dad's on the staff, and if you've ever been around his family, you know what he's about, and it's never been about him. And all he's wanted to do was play his role, and he's done it as well as anybody could possibly do it.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, guys.
We got to take this. You sure we can't take this? I think we get him at the end.